Do software companies want you to pirate their software? That is the attention grabber here. Obviously, they want you to buy their software because they want to make money, right? But if you're not going to buy their software, what do they want you to do? I've always had this theory. So back in the day when I was in high school, everyone had a cracked copy of Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, whatever. We all had a cracked copy of it, right? And it was always interesting how easy it was. I mean, Adobe being Adobe, it wouldn't have been difficult, in my opinion, for them to lock the software down and make it impossible to pirate. And I'm not only talking about Adobe stuff. There's other software as well. Windows is an interesting example. I watched a video about this on Linus the other day, and I was like, wow, that's exactly what I used to tell people. Like that's my thought on the matter. The interesting thing, like I said, is that some fairly high-end software, such as Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop, is very easy to pirate. And and again, it shouldn't be that hard for those types of companies to implement, good security, and they don't for the most part. They put in just enough security to keep your average, Joe Average. Let's go back to Joe Average. They put enough security in there to keep Joe Average from just willy nilly just click pirate, but not much more. And I've always found that really interesting. And I have always believed that the only conclusion that you can come to from that is if given a choice. So a manufacturer has three choices. You can buy their software, buy their competitors' software, not use their software, or pirate their software, right? So obviously option A is the is the preferred option. And by the way, before I continue this video, I am going to say I have used, as I said before, pirated Adobe software for many years. Currently, the Adobe software I am using Adobe Creative Cloud that I am paying for. I am paying for Adobe Creative Cloud. I think I'm paying for the version that you get Premiere and you get Photoshop. It was only like twice as much. I think it was like $49.99 a month for the entire suite versus I think like $20 a month for Premiere and Photoshop. Premiere, Photoshop, and uh, the other one, Lightroom. I don't use Lightroom as much as I should for the photography gear that I have. I have some pretty high-end photography gear, but I hardly ever use Lightroom. I think I do. I think I edit one photo a month in Lightroom, and it's usually the one that I end up throwing up on my Instagram from whatever trip I took that week. But it is legal. I am paying monthly for it. Like I said, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of $19.99 a month. I'd have to look at the bill. I don't know. It's not enough money for me to really think about. But so obviously that's option A. Now there's the other three options. Pay for the competitor's product, or pirate their product. What was the third? I had another one. No. So do they want you to use their competitor's product? No, they don't want you to use the competitor's product. Now, then the question is, would they rather you pirate their product or use the competitor's product? I think, in my opinion, that they would rather you pirate their product. Think about it. So all of those kids that because computers as we know them, modern computers as we know them, have been around for a solid, 20 years. I'm gonna, some of the people are gonna tell me, oh, we had computers before that. I think real mainstream, powerful, capable computers started around the year 2000. As we know them, they were kind of a niche item. They were really getting common around that time to where your average person could afford to buy a computer every few years. I mean, people were using stuff before that. People had Pentium 3s, Pentium 2s, 486s, but I really think the explosion in what we know today as kind of the digital era, I think was really in the early 2000s when it kind of hit what's the word? When it kind of hit a critical point where it just kind of just boom, it all just came in. And So there's an entire generation of kids that learned how to use how to do editing on Adobe. I'm one of those kids, and I'm now paying for Adobe. Did I go out and buy a $700 copy of CS Suite? No, I didn't, but I'm now paying for Adobe. If I hadn't pirated Adobe, I probably wouldn't now be paying for Adobe. I don't know how long DaVinci Resolve has been out, but if it's been out anywhere close to as long, I might have been using that. I might not have learned on Adobe if I couldn't have pirated Adobe. So now you have an entire generation of creative professionals, like I said, who learned how to do their craft on Adobe, pirated Adobe. But had they not been able to pirate Adobe, would they have gone out and bought Adobe? I think the answer is no. And you know, you see these companies, they will publicly, they will try to equate each cracked copy, each downloaded copy of their software as lost revenue. Behind the scenes, they know that this is not true. There is no way that they are that stupid. There is no possible way that they actually believe in some back corner office when they look at the numbers on, cracked downloaded copies of Adobe Premiere. There's no possible way that they're stupid enough to believe that every one of those people, or even the majority of those people, would have gone out and bought their software. So the only conclusion one can come to is, one, they know that those people wouldn't have bought their software. And two, they could put in locked down security if they want. They know piece of information A, and they choose not to take action B. The only conclusion that you can come to based on that is that, given the choice, not use anything. Oh yeah, that was my third option. Not use anything. Obviously, they wouldn't rather you not use anything. Use the competitor's software or pirate their software. Which one of those options is most likely to gain them revenue at some point? And the answer is option C, pirating their software. So I come to it. I think manufacturers, given given not having the option of you buying their software, would rather you pirate their software. Could be wrong. Someone's going to disagree. Someone's going to agree. Let me know what you guys think. I bet most people are going to agree with me on this. But anyway, thanks for watching the video.